Good morning everyone and welcome to DTBTV. So I'm going to just discuss yesterday's match that I went to at Anfield and go through quite a few things. I'm just going to wait for a few of you to join first so that I can speak to you all, as we go. We're live for about 20 minutes. So yesterday, very weird game, very weird atmosphere at Anfield as well. We've got to be careful. We've got to be really, really careful in our attitude towards games, even when we go into games. We can't just presume we're going to win easily and comfortably all the time. Yes, I know we beat Manchester United 5-0. Yes, I know Brighton isn't Barcelona. Brighton isn't Manchester City. Brighton isn't a top side. But I seen a really, really, really good side yesterday in Brighton, and they could have easily won the game. So you've got to look at things in perspective sometimes, and that might be that you've got to look at things and say, well, all right, we've drew. Manchester City lost, so okay. You could easily say we could have won and gained 3 points on City, but we gained a point. Now, gaining a point on City might not sound a lot, but every point counts. Now, if you want me to put that in layman's terms, we lost the league title to them in 2018 to 2019, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, 2018-2019 season by a point. So for those that think that point doesn't count with City losing, it clearly does. Yes, you can look at it and go, well, we beat Man U at Old Trafford, and basically that was 3 points, and now we've drew. So if we'd have drew with Man United and beaten Brighton, we'd have got the same points out of the last two games. But you can't look at things like that. You've got to look at our position as we've got shit luck with injuries, and it's always to an area where we can't afford injuries. So last season we couldn't afford to get centre backs injured, so what happened? We got all of our fucking centre backs injured. This season we can't afford to get central midfielders injured, so now they're dropping like flies. The only thing that's positive is regards to the fact that Fabinho's on his way back. He'll certainly probably play against Atletico Madrid. Thiago's on his way back. I mean, let's not forget that midfield yesterday was where we lost the game in terms of trying to win it. That midfield yesterday was what cost us the game. That's how I meant to put it. What cost us the game was in terms of 3 points, because you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's hardly played any football. Played well, set up a goal, but defensively was poor. Curtis Jones is 20 years old and is entitled to a bad game. You've got Jadon Sancho, it costs £70 million, that's older than Curtis Jones, and he's sat on the bench at Man United. So you've got to look at it like this. Everybody is entitled to have a bad game, but some of the shit you see on social media is absolutely bloody ridiculous. I mean, I cannot believe it. Bobby Firmino is getting shit. I even seen on our group this morning someone saying that he's not been great for 2 seasons. He had an average season in a pandemic, right? Not playing in front of fans and crowd. Bobby Firmino has been back to his best this season and hasn't scored yesterday. And I tell you what, I was at the game yesterday, and maybe when you watch it on telly it's different, because when you watch it from the angle we had, it was perfect, right? I was watching Firmino for a bit, and I said to Craig Farragut, I said, look at his work. He was checked. And I've played up front, by the way, and that used to be how I played. I used to be I used to press. My nickname at my footy team was Taz, because I was like a Tasmanian devil. I was pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, and it is exhausting to run at that intensity for all the game. And you've got to remember that these games have played a lot of football. I mean, these lads have played a lot of football in the last few weeks, and I seen a tired Bobby Firmino after about 50 minutes. 55 minutes. And I was saying to Craig Farragher, I said, got to bring Jota on just to inject a little bit more freshness in the pressing, because our defending starts from the front. So he eventually made the sub, Klopp, and Jota, he put himself about when he came on. I do believe, and I'm not slagging Klopp off because he's a legend, a genius, the best manager in my lifetime. But he should have made that. He should have made that a little bit earlier, in my opinion, because from what we seen in the ground, and I wasn't the only one saying it. In fact, I was the only one saying it at one point, and then everybody said, "You're right, lad." Because I'm not being funny, but everybody always has a go at me. But I see the game. I know football. I can see it. I see, opportunities coming. I'm even predicting where the next pass should go. I'm very good at that at AFC Liverpool. I know football. This is all I know. Football is all I know. I've watched a million games in my life. I mean, while some of you probably only watch Liverpool every week, I'm watching German football, Italian football, Spanish football, non-league football live every week. I know the game. And what I seen yesterday was we were overrunning the midfield. Basuma was outstanding, and I genuinely believe we should sign him. He was like Gini Wijnaldum with a cutting edge in the final third, and I just think he's fantastic. That what's his name up front as well was bloody brilliant. What's his name? Trossard. And Van Dijk looked a little bit shaky at the back. Konate was winning a lot of aerial headers. Played quite well, Konate, in a way, but he's getting 4s and 5s today in the player ratings in the Echo and on certain groups. And it just frustrates me. I don't know why. And I was saying this. Anyone that knows me knows that I don't just say this on camera. I say it in the fucking ground as well. I said it to Craig Farragher yesterday, and everybody as we were leaving, coming down the steps of the Kenny Dalglish stand on the way out. Some of our fans think we are entitled to win every fucking game. We are Liverpool. We want to win every game, but we are not entitled to win every game, right? Have we lost 5-0 at home this season? No. Have we lost 2-0 at home to Palace this season? No. Have we bottled? Have we played? Are we unbeaten? Are we the only team still unbeaten in the Premier League? Yes. So what do you want? We're top of the Champions League group. We're 3 points behind Chelsea. Everybody raving about Chelsea. They've beaten Norwich and yesterday Newcastle. Two of the worst sides in the league. Sorry, what bloody someone going by the window in Anfield. Road sweepers, because after match day, innit? I've got to have the windows open as well. Right, so this is what really, really, really frustrates me. It's like Chelsea win 2 games against Newcastle and Norwich, and everybody's creaming the pants. I just look at it like this. Chelsea, we've still got to go to Stamford Bridge. Why are we even looking at that yet? It's October. Can't you remember Everton won the league last year this time of year, right? We have what Sir Alex Ferguson used to say. We've got the Christmas period coming up, right? And that is basically the period what he used to call squeaky bum time. And in the Christmas period, we need to collect his piss off machine. We need to collect as many points as we can, because that's the period where we really, really need to sort of like secure our place. Do you know what? I've been up since 7 AM and I go live now, and that is right outside my window. It's really, really peeing me off. Hang on. Right outside the window. Sorry about that. Shut one window. He's literally right down here sweeping the bloody road. Alright, moaning git, innit? Right, so as I'm saying, go back to what I was on about. Right, so I actually am a football fan first. I always say this. I'm a massive Liverpool fan, as you well know. But I'm a football fan first. I love the game. And what I appreciated yesterday was a good football side that came to Anfield. They didn't do what Burnley do. They didn't do what other sides, Sam Allardyce teams did. They didn't park the bus and put 10 behind the ball. They played free-flowing, good football, pass and move from the back, got it up front to Trossard. I'm going to kill that machine outside in a minute. Got it outside to Trossard and played good football. And at the end of the day, a side like that deserves credit. Graham Potter has got a philosophy at Brighton, and they're playing good football, and they deserved it. You can't say they didn't deserve it. So, hang on, shut me up a window. Do you know what? Bloody annoying. I'm live as well. It's frustrating. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. So sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and say, this is the Premier League. This is the Premier League where everybody has got good players. All right, bar Norwich, but Norwich have got good players. We've just got a clown of a manager. You've got Manchester United fans now probably thinking, oh, here we go, because Ollie's at the wheel still. But yesterday, Tottenham were shocking. So, but what we've got to do is we've got to stop whining all the time when we don't win. What is wrong with being, let's just get the league table up. Yeah, we want to win every game, but I'm not being funny. I find it boring. I really did find it boring when we went on that run where we didn't lose for about a year. It was, I'm not being, it's not what, that's why I could never follow a Man City, or I could never follow a PSG, and I could never follow, you know, someone that is just, I love being on the edge of a seat. And the atmosphere at Anfield, for anybody that was in that stadium yesterday, it wasn't great. And it wasn't great because it was based on the fact that three quarters of the ground just thought Liverpool would turn up and win 5-0. Can't do that in the Premier League. And I'm sure Jurgen Klopp was thinking exactly the same thing. You cannot do that in the Premier League. You cannot presume you are going to turn up and just, you know, play in first gear. And that just doesn't count for the players. That counts for the fans. The fans can't just be sat there going, oh, I'll just wait till we score and then make a sound. I mean, Brighton sung a few times yesterday, where's your famous atmosphere? And to be honest with you, Brighton ain't big enough to sing for in terms of that kind of level. Madrid will be amazing, but that's because it's box office Madrid, and that's because everyone will be going into that ground thinking Madrid could beat us. Nobody went into that ground yesterday presuming that Brighton were anything other than an average team, and that's not good enough. Jurgen Klopp was calling it out in his pre-match press conference, saying, when he was asked the question of, are you going to rest some of your players? He goes, what? Rest players? He said, this is Brighton. Brighton are a good side. I'm looking at the league table as we stand. Brighton have played 10, won 4, drawn 4, and only been beaten twice this season, right? And their last 5 games, they drew 2-2 with Liverpool away, all right? They got beat by Man City 4-1 at home. Drew with Norwich, which is shocking. Drew with Arsenal. Drew with Palace. So in the last 5 Premier League games, they've been beaten once. So they're a difficult side to beat, clearly. Liverpool, if you'd have asked me, we would only spend 35 million on Konate, we would make 40 million in sales and be on a net spend of in the green by 4 million. And we would be behind Chelsea, who have spent over £100 million, above Man City, who have spent well over £100 million, right? Above Manchester United by 5 points, who have spent, oh my God, they've spent well over 100 million, but they're paying fortunes in wages. After 10 games, we have played 10, won 6, drawn 4, and lost 0. Our rivals have played, Chelsea have played 10, won 8, drawn 1, lost 1. Man City have played 10, won 6, drawn 2, lost 2. And West Ham, Manchester United have won 5, drawn 2 and lost 3. Arsenal lost 3. I mean, it's just, I mean, what do you want? Do you want Liverpool to just cream the league it's not going to happen. And then all of you that are demanding signings and demanding us spend the money that Man United have, that Man City have, we're above them in the league. So we don't need to spend the money. Right, what we need to do now in January is we have to bring in a striker. We have to bring in a striker in the January window and just say, look, say to FSG, right, well, we wanted to get a striker in anyway because we're going to be getting rid of Divock Origi soon. So bring it forward to January, because FSG will then say, okay, because we know you're going to lose Mo Salah and Sadio Mane and Naby Keita in January. So for me, go for somebody, a striker, you know, somebody we can bring in. There's this lad from Reading or someone that Klopp really likes, I can't remember his bloody name now. But there is strikers out there. Patson Daka, yeah, he looks like a missed opportunity. But then again, you've got to say the same again. Our front 4, as in the 4 that play, rotating, Jota, even Origi scoring goals, the 5, all of them, their numbers are right up there with the best in the world. We have the best front 3 in the world again. So we don't need to panic. And people just need to calm down. Stop throwing your toys out your pram if we draw. I was gutted. I was in the ground yesterday. I was gutted, right? Gutted that we didn't win the game. But then again, if every time I went to Anfield we won, it'd be boring. It'd be boring because you would. Next time I go to Anfield now, I won't go in there because I was one of them that was thinking, "I will beat Brighton today." You know, I was respecting it, but I thought I was confident. Confidence is different to cocky. You know, but next time I go into Anfield and we're playing a Watford or a Brighton or something, I'll go, come on, we need to get this done. Remember when we played Brighton? It was we were 2-0, and we'll bring that extra 10%, and that's what we need. Just going to say as well, it was lovely to be in the ground yesterday to say goodbye to Adam Lallana. That was emotional. I loved it. He kept on doing that to us. So he was applauding us and then doing that. So that was great to say goodbye, because you've got to remember he didn't get to say goodbye to the fans because it was an empty stadium when we won the league. I mean, you've got to remember what he won. He left Liverpool a European Cup winner, a world champion, a Super Cup winner and a Premier League winner. Adam Lallana is loved by everybody. The players, the management, the fans. He's just a gorgeous person in terms of his personality, in terms of his heart, and even his emotional interview when he was crying when he was leaving Liverpool. That was up there with, well, not up there with Steven Gerrard leaving, because that to me was just probably the worst day of my life in terms of football and Liverpool. Stevie leaving and that interview he gave with Kelly Rourke. Oh my God, I've got to say that is the day I'll never ever get over. Stevie leaving, because you imagine Steven Gerrard in that midfield yesterday. Do you know what? He's that good, Steven Gerrard. He could have played yesterday. I'm not joking. I watched him in 2 Legends games. One against AC Milan where he scored the win. I know it's a year ago now, but the one at Ibrox. I went all the way up to Glasgow because I've got family in Glasgow, and I went all the way up to Glasgow to watch Rangers Legends v Liverpool Legends at Ibrox. And he ran the game. He ran the game for Liverpool and for Rangers. I mean, and he was pissing about. He did it half of the time. He could have shot. And he keeps winding the crowd up because all the crowd goes, shoot, shoot, shoot. And he won't shoot. He'll just pretend and he'll lay it off. But then the Rangers fans will go, shoot, because they wanted him to score a goal for Rangers. And he rattled this 30-yarder and it bashed off the bar. And and you can hear the whistle of the pass. I remember when he played AC Milan Legends and he hit this ball. I was right behind the dugout where Klopp sits, and he hit this ball and it went, you can hear the wind of it, right over to Digital Cisse. And I remember seeing Seedorf and Kaka just turn around and look at Gerrard and just go, I mean, this man is, if I could rewind my life and start again, it wouldn't be to have more money, it wouldn't be to have a better chance of having more material things, it wouldn't be to do better in my relationships, have a better relationship with my family and rub away all the mistakes I've made, which everybody does. It would be to live through them moments again, of Steven Gerrard and sitting there with my scarf in my face thinking we've lost, I'm devastated we've lost, and to see that magic wand of a right foot just make it all right again. And I remember watching the Kenny Dalglish film and people said that was Kenny Dalglish. He would make you feel all right again when you needed him to. Well, my era was Steven Gerrard, so Steven Gerrard for me was my comic book hero, and meeting him was something else, and I'll take that to the grave with me. So it's one of them. Yesterday you've just got to dust yourself down, you've just got to say to yourself, all right, we drew, we go again, we're top of the Champions League group, we win on Wednesday night, we're more or less through, which means we can learn from the mistakes we made where we played real big players in the last couple of group stage games and got bad injuries. I remember Jota was out for 3 months after we played, I think it was Midtjylland, wasn't it, or someone like that, wasn't it? So we go again, we get behind the lads, and I'm not going to keep going through this because I know a lot of you think that I'm a bit of a mini Hitler when I say you can't say this, you can't say that. No, I always put in the small print at the bottom of my big statements. You're entitled to an opinion based on constructive criticism. Yesterday, Bobby Firmino was poor. Yesterday, Curtis Jones was poor. Yesterday, half the team was poor. but they have had moments, and many of them that we have celebrated amongst each other at Anfield, in the pubs, wherever you were. That doesn't say that they're a bad player because of a bad game. You go, right, Firmino was poor today. Like I said, they should have brought Jota on a bit earlier because he needed to inject a bit of freshness. That's looking at the game of football, giving it your point of view to what you would do at that time. That is a football supporter's opinion. Banging up statuses from a cave in Nigeria, or flipping somewhere the other side of the world, or even somewhere here in Anfield, or wherever you're from, right? Wherever you're from, it's not constructive. All you're doing is you're slating an individual on your inability to accept anything other than Liverpool can't win every game. So you don't put up statuses like saying good Curtis Jones is not good enough to play for Liverpool. I've said this. Curtis Jones was outstanding in the Champions League against Porto. He had one of the best games I've seen from a 20-year-old ever. Firmino is back to his best. I can't believe the things I've seen this morning about Bobby. There's a difference between saying Firmino and Jota had a bad game, but Firmino and Jota are not good enough for Liverpool. That's a different kettle of fish. These guys, especially Bobby Firmino, are the reason why you're not sitting here still counting season number 31 without a league title. Or the reason why you're buying your patch on your shirt where it says 6 European Cups, hopefully 7 this year. So start appreciating the players we have, because I tell you what, I put up a post 2 days ago and it was my 10-year memory, and you've got Andy Carroll running to the corner flag to celebrate a goal with Jay Spearman and Davin and Gog and that behind him. So enjoy these players, because you'll be crying for Bobby Firmino if we ever get Andy Carroll again. You'll never walk alone.